Inca Onyx Boa. Double het for Nicaraguan T positive and Honduran T positive. This little girl is eating like a champ. What's up, snake fans? Dave Palumbo here for Muscle Serpents Daily, and the sun is setting here in Cape Coral, Florida. Gets dark early now. By 5 o'clock, we're getting the sun's going down here. Probably in other states, it probably gets dark even earlier, like 4:30. Supposedly the days are getting longer now. The first day of winter is past, and we're heading towards spring now. So that's a good thing. Today we fed here at the facility. We fed actually yesterday and today, so we're going to take a look at some snakes as I go back and revisit. Because what we do is we put the rats in, or we will give them the frozen thawed stuff if we're feeding the boas, which eat mostly frozen thawed. And then we go back and we make sure they ate them, because sometimes they'll just leave them. Sometimes they grab them, but then they don't eat them. So we go back and then we'll clean the cages if anyone made a mess. And that's when I usually spot the stuff that I really love, and I try to showcase that for you guys. So let's go and take a look and see what we saw today. Man, do I love my Boelens Python. I just sit here and watch him. I can watch this guy for hours. I never get sick of him. I can't wait till I could house my male and female together. Let me let him out. Let's see. Hopefully he doesn't bite me. Okay. I gave him my arm. I figured I'd rather take the bite on the arm. Now, he doesn't bite. This guy never bites. They're just really well-tempered snakes. I really hope that we can get to really breed these things at some point. I hope someone figures it out and cracks the code, because Bolens, the thing about Bolens is that no one can really captive breed these things. They can get eggs, but they don't hatch. It's only been a couple people that have done it. So all the Bolens that come in are wild caught, or they're farm raised, you know, in Indonesia, which is fine and all, but they're expensive. So the average person is not going to be picking up a pair of Boelens Pythons. And if someone can crack the code, they're such nice animals. They're really good. They would make great pets. Right now, like I said, it would be a very expensive pet because they're very costly at this point. But they have very good temperament. Like, I'll let my kids hold these things. They're decent sized snake. They don't get huge. They're good size. They don't get very thick. They're kind of like carpet python-ish. This is a male, so the males are going to stay a little smaller probably. Anyway, and you really don't want to overfeed them because they don't do well when they eat too much. And they just look beautiful. I mean, look at the black and that whitish yellow in there. They're just really gorgeous looking. Hopefully in 10 years I'm talking about, hey, I got 3 clutches of Boelens Pythons. That would be awesome. All right, the annulated tree boas just shed. They ate. Actually, no, we haven't fed them. They ate last week. Look at this beauty. It's beautiful male. Really nice coloring. They've been doing really good in this cage, and like I said, I have them set up here with 3 of them. There's 2 females and a male in here together. And they're doing great, really. So, actually, do I have 2 males and I have 2 females and a male. This is my friend Paul Miller gave me these guys, and sometimes they hang out on the perches, sometimes they hang out on the ground. I love the head shape. They got that really triangular head. It's a really cool species, you know. And I love all kinds of boas anyway. I like live-bearing animals. I also like my pythons. Who am I kidding? I just like these guys. They seem to be really, you can kind of set them up. I really should go to a naturalistic bottom. I don't know why I have them on paper towels. It's because I used to have green tree pythons in here. I think I'm going to put some Reptichip in here and really make this thing a little more naturalistic looking. This way they can kind of just do their thing. Paper towels kind of throw off the naturalistic look of my my fake trees that I have in here, my fake tree branches. All right, a little update. My blue line Sun Glow Boa. This is one of the babies I produced this past season. This is probably the best one I've produced, I'd say, by far. We should take him outside. Let's take a look at him outside. Yeah, look at how nice he is out here. Beautiful. Beautiful blues in him. Look at those blues. Look at that beautiful tail, too. He's got a great tail. He's just really saturated with a lot of blue. And beautiful. One of my favorite boas of all time, probably. He's got a bunch of brothers and sisters, too, that are pretty spectacular. They all look totally different, which is great. I love the fact that not a single one looks the same. He's coming for the camera. Nasty. He bit me 2 times. He actually looks better on the ground. Take a nice chunk out of my finger there. Little guy has some pretty sharp teeth. All right, we'll put him back. He's not in a good mood. I think he's actually going to shed, to be honest with you. One of my favorite onyx boas. It's my hypo blood onyx. Growing up. Big boy. Well, he's a little boy, but he's a year and a half old now. More than almost 2 years old. And you can see these onyx boas, these Honduran onyx boas, are really small. That's why I call them the super dwarfs. You can see it's come back to my hand. And he eats small rats now. He's just tiny. They don't get big. So he's also possible het Honduran T positive and Anery 2. He'll be into the breeding program at some point, probably in another 2 years now. I don't know. Sometimes you have to wait 3-4 years on the males, which is crazy. 2-3 years on the males, definitely. I think he's too young. I don't think he would do anything this year. He's not 2 years old yet, but probably for the next breeding season, I might try him out. See what we get from him. All right, here's my snow carpet python, possible moonglow. Putting on some really good size. This male, he probably could breed. He's 2.5 years old. I probably could throw him in with a female, but I didn't really have anyone to put him with this year. So I figured, you know what, I'll just save him. I'm growing up a female too, probably save him for that. He just started really eating medium rats, so I think next year he'll be really ready to go, 100%. Carpets tend to be a little bit late bloomers, even the males. The males will be big enough in size, but it's almost like they don't know what to do. So you're always better off waiting until they're at least 3 years old, and that usually is a smart move. Females, I always say 4 or 5 years, the earliest. You got to get really lucky if you get them up to size and up to breeding size by then. But like I said, I'm not in a rush. I love my carpets. Here's the female that I originally thought was a moonglow, and I think she's just a snow, which is an albino axanthic, but you never know. She could be a single copy moonglow, which would be a caramel, which is an incomplete dominant gene. Caramel, and then she's also albino, and then she's also axanthic. So it's possible that she has the caramel gene in her. She is very low pattern, and she's got a little yellow in her, but all the snows and the moonglows have some yellow. Depending on how many copies of caramel, that will dictate whether they're patternless and colorless or not. Also, the IJ locality of this snake, because the axanthic gene comes from the IJ locality, and those tend to be much more yellow snakes by nature. So the axanthic gene doesn't quite remove as much yellow as it should, because axanthic implies that there's no yellows, right? But it doesn't remove all yellows. It removes a lot of yellows, but there's still, as you can see, some left. So we need to depend on that caramel or the super caramel combination to remove what's left of the yellows. And it usually does a pretty good job. It does a better job when you have 2 copies of caramel, though. So this female's doing well. She's also nailing some medium rats now, just started. So I expect to see her up to breeding size. I don't know about next year, maybe. It's possible, probably the year after. Speaking about medium rats, this Sterling albino, or actually she might be a Sunglow Sterling, which is hypo albino, and then Sterling is the recessive gene that removes all patterns, so she's patternless albino, or patternless Sunglow. Both her sister here, both ate some nice big rats, and they're a year and a half old, these guys, so they're starting to put some nice size on. I'm shocked that I still have, I produced 3 of these females, actually 4 of them. I sold 1. I have 2 left. I'm keeping 1. This is my keeper right here. They all look pretty much the same, but I'm keeping that one. This one's for sale, and then I have, these are good. These are really well started, so if you're looking to get into this project, the Sunglow Sterling project, one of these females would be terrific to get into your collection. And here's the other sister right here. Beautiful, beautiful. There's a beautiful male. Just ate a nice small rat. He is a Motley, hypo, sharp albino, het RDR, black-eyed entering. 100% on that. So he's basically a Motley Sunglow. Beautiful. It's funny how the boas, they don't even care. They don't even want to sit on the hot spot. They like to just stay on the cool side. Even if they eat a meal, a lot of times they won't sit on a hot spot. They don't want to be that hot. They're not really into heat that much. They're more into the heat when they're pregnant. But some boas will eat and then lay on the hot spot. I find my males, I don't feed them such big meals. They don't even care about it. They'll move back and forth, but most of the time they're on the cool side. All right, here's a nice black gene, Motley female. One copy of the black gene is like very similar to one copy of Leopard. And when you mix that with Motley, you get this like cool striped animal. So, really interesting. Very dark. Let's see if we can scare it a little bit. Everyone, oh, she shed too. Now you can get the full splendor of this beautiful animal right here. Absolutely gorgeous. I'm telling you, leopard Motleys look awesome, and black gene, which is one copy of black gene, which like I said is pretty much the same as leopard, with the Motley gene also gives you that beautiful striped animal. My Inca Onyx Boa, double het for Nicaraguan T positive and Honduran T positive. This little girl is eating like a champ. The Onyxes usually don't eat a lot, but I think it was the introduction of the Inca mixed in here. The Incas are good eaters, so they get a little bigger than the Onyx. They're still small snakes, still dwarfs. And she's on the hot spot. She's digesting. She ate a really big rat. For a small snake, she ate a big rat. I'm surprised she even ate it. But look at that beautiful Inca patterning. All the crazy little diamonds on the side, the crazy top portion. You know, Onyx is very dark. Inca's not quite as dark, but it has a lot of busy pattern to it. And I think they worked really well together. I really like this combination. I think it really came out great. A little update on my hypo Burke line T positive fire diamond. So it's a fire diamond, which is really a Boa amarale. It's a big snake, but it was combined with a Central American T positive. So it kind of brought down the size of the snake. So you're not going to get a huge snake, because it's kind of like you bred like a dwarf to a full-blown big Boa. You're going to get somewhere in between. Got the hypo gene in there. Beautiful looking tail. Fire and hypo work really, really nice together. And you add T positive, which is also takes away melanin, and it's a really nice combination. So I got her. She'll probably, hopefully, maybe we can breed her next year. She's about 2.5 years old now. She's about 3.5. We'll try to breed her. I have a male that's also hypo Burke line T positive fire diamond. I'll show you him in a second. I've shown you these guys before, but they're putting on a nice size and growing nicely. And here's the boy. He's really light. He's a lot lighter than she is. But you can see that beautiful tail also, that fired gene combined with that T positive and the hypo gene, just really, really exquisite. I really love them. I would not mind making more of these. They're so nice looking. And imagine the super fire version of this. They're gonna have like a almost like a purplish looking eye probably, because you're not gonna get, remember the super fire's got a black eye, but when you put black eyed with a T negative albino, you'll get a red eye. But if you put it with the T positive albino like this with the hypo gene, you're gonna get like almost a red eye. It's gonna be reddish, but it's gonna be like a dark red. Some people call it purple eye, but so we're hopefully about a year off breeding these guys. And final little snake of the day. Like I said, this is feeding day here, so I don't want to bother the snakes too much. Look at that cross on her head. This is a VPI T positive. Okay, so it's a T positive line, the VPI line, and it's combined with, guess what? IMG gene, increasing melanistic gene. Never will turn completely dark black because the T positive albino will take out some of that black, and as you can see, it's keeping certain patches, very cool patches. It's keeping them from getting black, and it's keeping the black from getting black. It's keeping them like a dark chocolatey brown. Super cool, I think. I love this snake. She really, really is awesome, you know. And she's growing up nicely, putting on some good size. All right, now this is a very similar female to the one I just showed you, except this is IMG, increasing melanistic gene, VPIT positive with Motley. So this is a dark, look how much darker this one is. Because that Motley gene, we know Motley and IMG makes a black snake. Put the VPIT positive in it, you prevent it from getting totally black, but it's a lot blacker than the one that I just showed you, which didn't have the Motley gene. So even the parts that are not completely blacked out, you can see there's black now in here. This is returned, the Motley returned it to black, so the VPIT positive can't make it brown, although the tail's a little brownish looking. But the body is black. Look at the head, it's black, but not solid black. And that's because of that VPIT positive gene in there. So this girl's a little younger than the other one, and we're growing her up and really love her. All right, guys, that's going to do it for today here at Boelens Pythons and Boas. We saw some really cool boas today, and that's for sure. And, you know, we're in the breeding season now, which means that we have snakes together, we have cooler temperatures, we are feeding a little bit, you know, some of the grow-ups are getting fed. Sometimes I throw a rat here and there in with the breeding snakes as well, especially if I think a male is a little too small, or maybe it's a little losing too much weight. But by and far, it's kind of quiet now. We're not getting any clutches, although we do have a clutch that's going to hatch at the end of the week or next week, those green tree pythons, eggs that we have in there. So that's exciting. But by and far, there's, you know, we're not getting expecting any boa litters or any ball python clutches, although we could always get a spontaneous random clutch here or there from the end of last year. But by and far, it's a little quiet here. So sometimes it's harder to come up with content, but so I like to showcase stuff that I really like in my facility here, and stuff that I think you guys might like, or that's going to be available for purchase that maybe I haven't listed yet, to get you guys all revved up. You know, the holidays are always quiet and slow, and you know, even you know, I kind of got distracted a little bit from the snakes myself, even because look, you got a lot going on. The kids love Christmas and all that stuff, and my son's birthday's coming up at the end of the week as well, so that's always keeps us busy. But then usually by the second week in January, I get all reinvigorated, and I start getting all interested in all my stuff again. And so I got a lot of stuff to showcase for you guys over the next couple weeks, and you're going to see a lot of stuff that's been growing up, and maybe you saw it when it first hatched or when it first was born from a boa, and now you're going to get to see how it's growing 5-6 months later. So that's the plan over the next coming weeks. If you guys have suggestions for videos, always feel free to put them in the comments below, and I will definitely take them into consideration. For now, if you like what you're seeing, make sure you hit that subscribe button, turn on those notifications, hit that like button. I'll see you back tomorrow morning.